Hi everybody and welcome to Josiah is Right. So happy new year. I'm going to do my thrift store finds for the month of December. So a little bit late, actually all got really sick here in my house, so that's why everything is delayed. But I wanted to share with you what I got. Actually, I don't think there's any thrift store finds, so it's probably not accurate to call it that, but it'd be eBay finds and a pawn shop find actually, which is a first for me. So first up, a couple things I got on eBay. So eBay bargains. I tend to not get things on eBay unless I can get a deal on it, unless it's something I really want. But I was really excited about these, so I'll just show you the figures first up here. So we have a couple of G.I. Joes. So we have Bullhorn and Rampart. And these guys I got on eBay on Christmas night, actually, or Christmas Eve. I can't remember which. So I was watching a couple auctions that I didn't end up getting, and they all went really cheap, and I mainly missed them because I fell asleep because it was late at night. So that's sort of a secret. If you have time on Christmas Eve or Christmas night, and I tend to sleep very late, check eBay. You might get a good deal. Just in general, late night auctions, you can find some good stuff. And that's how I got these guys. Really, really late at night. A very good deal. I think they were less than 10 bucks for both, and they're pretty good shape with most of their accessories. This guy's got a little bit of a broken crotch here, Bullhorn does, but they're in generally good shape. And these are both figures I had, and I'm happy to have back in the fold here at my collection, and eventually they'll be on the shelves behind me. So next up is an animation cell. So here, this is actually Mega Man, the Captain N cartoon. So the interesting story with this guy is, for Christmas, I got my friends, all my guys I grew up with, I try to get them interesting, funky gifts, and this year I got them animation cells, and then I framed them. And then the cells are, relatively cheap. It was He-Man for most of them, and Star Wars, the Ewoks cartoon, that's what I got for the guys, and I actually have one of those for myself as well. And so I went to a Michael's in the Pittsburgh area, and we bought a couple of frames. So we took one of the animation cells with us to find the frame. It was a bit bigger than this guy, though this cell's a little bit smaller. And so I brought the animation cells, and what happened was I ended up leaving it in the cart in the parking lot. I got home and realized we didn't have the cell. Like, I only took one, and the other three were still at home. So I went back. The cart was still there. The animation cell was missing. So someone took it. It was a He-Man cell. I can't remember exactly what was on it, but I then wanted to still get my friends the same thing, but I only had, two of these three animation cells for my three friends that I was getting it for. So I went on eBay and found a place that sells them, and again, they're relatively cheap, and I got a replacement He-Man, plus I came across this guy. Now, as you know, I'm a big Mega Man fan. You can see my Kid Robot collection, and this version of Mega Man is so weird and so off the mark, it just doesn't make sense. He's got a gravelly voice, he's just bizarre. As you can see, the color is not right here. He's green instead of blue. But this is the first Mega Man I knew, and I loved the Captain N cartoon, so I'm happy to have it. It was less than $10. I think it was $8 plus shipping, and shipping was combined with the other one I got, so it was quite a good deal. It was probably $8 shipping for both, and they shipped a priority, so I got everything right away. I got it in time for Christmas, and was able to give my friends the presents on time at our sort of friend Christmas gathering, where we had all of our kids gathered, and we, despite that we're all dudes, we all have girls, and it is awesome. So Merry Christmas to those guys. Merry Christmas to myself. This one. So as I said, that was it for eBay finds. And there were no thrift store finds, even though I still call this my thrift store finds. But I guess maybe just my, again, bargain collecting. But this month, I was super excited to get something. So I will start by showing you the sort of side pieces. So first up, we have the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Awesome. I actually cleaned him up. He was pretty dirty. There's some scuffs on his back, but he's in really good shape. From 1984, and it's great because the tag on their Columbia pictures. So Stay Puft Marshmallow Man in pretty good shape. He cleaned up well. He was just kind of dirty. Also, Peter Venkman. So if you're going to get any one Ghostbuster, this would be the one to get, right? It's Bill Murray's character, although it's obviously the animated series version, so he doesn't quite look totally like Bill Murray. I'm sure it's likeness rights kind of thing, but it's Bill Murray. For all intents and purposes, this is a Bill Murray action figure, so I'm happy to have that. The only one I had was a later one, and it was one where you squeeze his legs and his face stretched, and I actually liked that one a lot for whatever reason. It was, again, the later series, but this is part of the original line. Again, once again, 1984 tag on there with Columbia pictures, so these guys are, legit start of that line when, Ghostbusters was a brand new thing. So I'm excited to have these. I've always loved Ghostbusters. But as a kid, there was one toy I probably wanted more than any other toy to have in my collection. Every year in the Sears catalog, I would circle this thing every year without fail, I wouldn't get it. And a little while back, I wrote a blog about it. And on that blog, I just talked about how I wanted to get it. So I will start with showing you it first, because that's the fun. And that is the Ecto one. So as you can see here, once again, this guy was a little bit dirty. There was a lot of dirt on the bottom of the wheels, but I cleaned that up. The tow cable thing is kind of a little rickety, but in pretty good shape. So this is the Ecto one. Not in perfect condition clean-wise. I think there's something missing here, but it's got the Ghostbusters sticker. It's in really good shape. But the story behind this guy, it's kind of a personal sort of wish fulfillment kind of thing. So when I was a kid, as I said, every year I would circle this in this year's catalog. And every year I didn't get it. Right up there with the Batmobile. This I probably wanted more than the Batmobile because, I don't know, there's something about this car, you know, and from the movies and the cartoon version. But every year I would circle it and not get it. And apparently my mom would try to order it, but they would essentially just run out because it was a popular toy. And on my street, there's a pawn shop. In the window of that pawn shop, I noticed back on the counter this Ghostbuster car. I would walk by it, always curious, always curious. Eventually I walked in. So I asked him about it. And the guy said $50. And then he showed me it included the other stuff. So I said, I'd think about it, right? I should have just bought it on the spot. I came back months and months and months later. I still haven't bought it. Maybe even more than a year. I don't know how long it is. I mean, I've lived on this street for a couple years now, and I didn't get it in all that time. So I went by, and my mom was with me, and I showed it to her when we walked by. We were walking my dog, and when she came out to visit a few months ago. So when she left, this was in November, she left me like $60 and said, it's to buy this. So she gave me the money to buy it. So then I went back in, and eventually I bought it. There was actually a little bit of a hiccup where the guys that were working there said, oh, that's not for sale. That's from John's personal collection. John's the guy who runs the place. And I said, no, I talked to him about it. He said $50. And then they said, oh, come back when John's here. So I came back the next day or the day after. John wasn't there, but he said he remembered, and they sold it to me for $50. I was going to negotiate and try to haggle him down to at least $40, but at that point I just wanted to get it. So when there was that bump in the road when I couldn't get it when I thought I was going to finally have it, but I'm happy to have it. Super excited. This is probably one of my all-time best finds. Again, you're paying about $50 on eBay for the car by itself, so it's a good deal to get the bonus stuff in. And I wasn't going to negotiate just to have it. And this, you know, I bought it from a local shop. It wasn't just on eBay. So I found it sort of organically. I'm happy to have it. Those are my thrift store finds, or bargain collecting / eBay finds, pawn shop finds. As I said, this was from a pawn shop for the month of December. So thank you guys. Let me know what you're collecting. Let me know what you're finding out there in the wild. And I'll be playing with my Ghostbuster car until I break the wheels off. Thank you guys.